Do you believe that some Indian soldiers' names, which most people in our country have never heard of, are very familiar to the Israelis? Yes, we can see that the names of some Indians are included in the history textbooks of schools in the northern Israeli city of Haifa. It's quite surprising, right? During World War I, in 1918, it was a recognition of the contributions made by Indian soldiers in liberating the people of Haifa from foreign powers. Not only that, a century later, in 2018, Israel even issued a stamp in their memory. So, what did these Indian soldiers do there that is still remembered today? This fascinating story is presented in today's video. The wars in the Middle East during World War I lasted from 30th October 1914 to 30th October 1918. On one side, the Central Powers, including the Ottoman Empire, and on the other side, the Allied Powers, which included the British Empire, were the main warring factions in this region. The Ottoman Empire at that time included parts of what are now Palestine, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and parts of Yemen. By 1914, as World War I became active, the Western Front, European theatre of war, was in a virtual stalemate. Meanwhile, on the Eastern Front near the Middle East, a military force advanced rapidly to capture territory as quickly as possible. There were 5 major campaigns in the Middle East: Sinai and Palestine, Mesopotamia, Caucasus, Persian, and Gallipoli. Apart from the geography of the region, the enemy's defensive positions and natural barriers also played a significant role in determining the outcome of the war. In 1915, the German-led Ottoman army began plans to seize the Suez Canal. At that time, Egypt, which controlled the Suez Canal, was a British protectorate. If the Suez Canal were captured, critical supply chains from British India would be cut off. The Central Powers calculated that this would severely affect the advance of the Allied forces on the war fronts. As a result, the German-led Ottoman forces launched an attack on the Sinai Peninsula, which marked the beginning of the Palestine campaign. Following this, numerous battles were fought in the region. Not only were the British able to hold on to their territories, but the Allied forces also began advancing into Palestine. The defeated Ottoman forces' 7th and 8th armies retreated to the Judean hills. However, after the Allied forces captured Afuleh and Nazareth, the isolated Ottoman forces in the Judean hills could no longer maintain contact with their headquarters. With no other options, they were forced to retreat across the Jordan River towards the Hijaz railway station. The next target of the Egyptian Expeditionary Force, which had advanced towards Turkey, was Haifa. At that time, the infrastructure around the city of Haifa was underdeveloped. Therefore, instead of moving supplies via poorly developed and difficult roads, the ability to deliver supplies directly to Haifa via the Mediterranean was considered an advantage by the Allied forces. They recognized Haifa's importance as a critical supply hub. 22nd September, although the Allied forces' reconnaissance plane conducted a search in the Haifa area, it was reported that no Ottoman military presence was found. Based on the report, the Egyptian Expeditionary Force assumed that the Central Powers had withdrawn from Haifa and began advancing. However, within a short distance, they encountered heavy artillery and machine gun fire from the opposite side. This led them to realize that the information obtained through aerial reconnaissance was incorrect, and Haifa, after all, was still under Ottoman control. Subsequently, the British Army sent a group of armored reconnaissance vehicles on a mission to gather information about the enemy's positions. Before the group could reach the city road leading to Haifa, they faced numerous obstacles. The port city of Haifa was situated on the slope of Mount Carmel, adjacent to the Mediterranean Sea. To the east of the city, the Nahr al-Mukhat, also known as the Kishon River, flows parallel to the mountain ranges. The main road to Haifa passes through the gap between these mountains and the river. However, the Ottoman forces strongly defended this region using rifles and artillery. Moreover, they created pits along the road, behind which machine gun defense lines were also established, as the reconnaissance team discovered. In support of these defenses were artillery units positioned strategically on the slopes of Mount Carmel. Thus, with the support of machine guns, trenches, and the natural barriers of the Nahr al-Mukhat River, the Ottoman army created a nearly impenetrable obstacle in the lower reaches of Mount Carmel. As a result, the Egyptian Expeditionary Force realized that a more coordinated attack had to be planned. 23rd September 1918, the British Indian Army devised strategies for a bold war against the German and Ottoman forces. Later, this war came to be known as the Battle of Haifa. The British Army's 5th Cavalry Division was given the task of capturing Haifa. The 5th Cavalry Division consisted of 3 Imperial Service Cavalry Brigades, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. The 15th Imperial Service Cavalry Brigade, which was the 3rd Brigade, had 3 regiments from the princely states of Jodhpur, Mysore, and Hyderabad. They were lancers armed only with swords and spears. The Jodhpur Lancers, a renowned cavalry unit from Marwar, known for their bravery and sacrifice, was formed in 1795. By the events of the 19th century, they had modernized and became part of the Imperial Service Forces under British control. The primary task of launching the first attack and leading the advance at the front was entrusted to the Jodhpur Lancers. The Mysore Lancers and Jodhpur Lancers launched a lightning attack from both sides against the German Ottoman forces, and to support them, Sherwood Rangers, a squadron from Yemen, and B Battery of the Honourable Artillery Company were assigned as artillery fire support. The plan was to confuse and overpower the enemy through a comprehensive lightning attack. Time: 14 o'clock. The Honourable Artillery Company began firing on the Austrian batteries of light field guns positioned on the slopes of Mount Carmel. Under cover of the artillery fire, the Mysore Lancers charged up the steep mountain slopes, launching a lightning attack on the enemy, capturing their rifles and rendering them inoperative. At the same time, the Jodhpur Lancers crossed the Acre railway line and directly engaged the Ottoman forces. However, their advance was severely hindered by strong resistance from machine guns and trenches. Additionally, the muddy ground along the riverbank worsened their maneuverability. They strategically withdrew from there and regrouped on the left side of the Carmel mountain range. They then launched a lightning attack behind the German machine gunners who were entrenched on the Haifa road. After the attack, the Jodhpur Lancers captured 2 machine guns, 2 camel-mounted guns, and 30 prisoners, securing the entry route to Haifa and establishing their position. The Lancers, having advanced into the town of Haifa, began their progress, astonishing the enemy forces. The advance of the Jodhpur Lancers towards Haifa was an unprecedented and remarkable tactical move. The unexpected entry of the Jodhpur Lancers into Haifa, breaking through defenses that were considered impregnable, literally stunned the enemy. This unexpected move played a key role in breaking the enemy's resistance. Meanwhile, the Mysore Lancers, supporting them, launched a well-coordinated attack on the enemy. Their help further strengthened the advance of the Jodhpur Lancers. The bravery of the Jodhpur Lancers, combined with the support of the Mysore Lancers, created a breakthrough on the battlefield. This fierce and tactical battle amidst the waves of Haifa led to the British Indian Army's advance. As a result, the 400-year-long Ottoman occupation of Haifa came to an end. To German officers, 35 Ottoman officers, 1,350 German and Ottoman prisoners, along with 17 trench guns, including 4 4.2-inch guns, 8 77mm guns, 4 camel guns, 6-inch naval guns, 11 machine guns, numerous weapons, and 2 regiments, were captured. Meanwhile, 8 soldiers were killed, 34 injured, and 60 horses were killed, with 83 horses injured during the battle. What is most remarkable about this battle is that only around 400 Indian soldiers were present on the battlefield to face off against approximately 1,500 Turkish soldiers. It was unbelievable that machine guns failed before those charging on horseback armed only with swords and spears. Additionally, this battle marked one of the last cavalry attacks in modern military history. In this brave struggle, the Indian Army also ensured the safety of the town's residents. Moreover, they ensured the safety of Abdul Baha, the spiritual successor of Baha'u'llah, the leader of the Baha'i faith, from the threat of execution by Ottoman military commander Cemal Pasha. Therefore, the Baha'i community in India still remembers the Haifa battle as the day their spiritual leader was freed. The liberation of Haifa opened an important supply route for the Allied forces, and through this, the courage of Indian soldiers was displayed globally. Although the war was fought under British imperialism, the extraordinary bravery and strength of the Indian cavalry, including Captain Amar Singh Bahadur, Dafadar Jor Singh, Major Thakur Dalpat Singh, Captain Anop Singh, and Second Lieutenant Sagat Singh, became a new experience for Israel. When the first 2 brave Lancers were awarded the Indian Order of Merit (IOM), the 3 subsequent ones were awarded the Military Cross (MC). The brave actions of the Indian soldiers are still remembered by the Israeli government. To honor their sacrifice, the city of Haifa celebrates 23rd September as Haifa Day. Every year, on 23rd September, diplomats from the Indian Embassy in Israel, along with Israeli government officials representing the northern port city of Haifa, gather at the Haifa War Cemetery to pay tribute to Indian soldiers who were killed or wounded in foreign battles. Additionally, a chapter on India's role in the liberation of the port city is included in the history textbooks of Haifa's students. In 2018, Israel released a stamp commemorating the 100th anniversary of Haifa's liberation from Ottoman rule, reflecting the everlasting gratitude and recognition of the bravery of Indian soldiers. A stamp released by Israel to honor the Indian Army. As global developments at the turn of the 20th century shaped the course of history, this event highlights India's significant contributions while showcasing the enduring, mutually respectful relationship between the two countries. The heroic sacrifice of Major Dalpat Singh and the soldiers who made the liberation of Haifa possible, along with their extraordinary courage, will always inspire Indian youth. Jai Hind.